You're listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
Alright, welcome everybody to Fraggin Out episode number 6. Welcome back. We had a little bit of an extended mini vacation there because of some scheduling issues, so thanks for coming back. Listening to us on sportsradiodetroit.com, our podcast hosting, and just some homework and some housekeeping to get going first of all with all that stuff. SRD has an official affiliate sponsor partnering up with the brand Fanatics, which is pretty dope, actually. It's one of the companies that hosts all the major clothing apparel for almost every major sports. Like the NHL has their replica jerseys through Fanatics. Overwatch League is partnered with Fanatics, so that's a big thing. There's going to be more information coming out pretty soon, so make sure you check out sportsradiodetroit.com for the news on that and their Twitter. I believe it's going to be an affiliate link, so we'll have a discount code from what I know so far. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. So that's pretty stoked for us. And as always, if anybody's listening and would like to sponsor our podcast, the Fraggin Out Podcast, you can always get a hold of us on our Twitter or my Twitter, Josh's Twitter, and we can work something out. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But Josh, what's been going on, buddy? What you been up to?
Not much, man. Honestly, been super busy, crazy busy with life and everything else, work, all that other jazz. But what I've been playing recently, been doing a little bit of the anthems. So, which of course we'll get more into, but I've been playing Anthem. I've been enjoying it. Also jumped on Apex Legends, which we'll talk about later. Played that for a few rounds, so I'm enjoying that so far. And we'll be talking about that in a little bit. So I don't want to get too in depth, but that's literally nothing exciting, nothing crazy. That's about it for my last couple weeks here.
Awesome. Yeah, that's kind of it's nice to finally have content where we're actually physically playing it, to have more of an in-depth talk about it. Not that we don't play things that we talk about, just some things especially we don't always like to play or want to play, so it's good that we're getting into that. I basically have been back on the Overwatch horse because Overwatch League, as you can see by my jersey right now, good old Seagull. I just kind of get sucked in because the Overwatch League just makes everything look amazingly fun. And then there's some guys on PS4 that I've been playing with again since, a lot of them decided to split off from a group that we used to play with, which is pretty cool because I really miss playing with some of those people, and they made the game really fun. And now that they don't play with one person in particular that you know of, the game just is a little bit more fun to play with some of that. Even Meg and I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, in the middle of the week, we got on it in the middle of the afternoon. And we played for 3.5, 4 hours and just had a really good time, dude. Just playing whatever, playing Symmetra and just being goofy and enjoying the game for what I think, I don't know, my capacity is to enjoy the game now is very limited amounts of time and just playing things I don't normally play just to have fun and staying out of competitive. So,
yeah, well, your capacity to play that game is a lot more than mine, compared to what I can play of it and be okay with, because I don't know. I try to jump back on with you and I'll play it, and we have that time limit. I'll have about 40 minutes of gameplay, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I don't think I can do anymore. I'm getting to the point where I want to punch a baby. Okay, no, I don't want to punch a baby. Maybe a wall. But anyways, yeah, man. I kind of want to watch the Overwatch League just because it was pretty exciting last year. I watched a few games of it. It was really cool. The just level that they're at is unreal. Watching them, I think it's really awesome watching it. I think it's really professional. It's really nice. I'm glad they did it that way and that it's being broadcast and it looks fantastic. It doesn't look like some little kids are putting it together and whatever else. It looks like a really nice setup TV show. So.
Yeah, that's the one thing. The broadcast quality of that is just, you could tell it's on another level because they have, all the resources at Activision basically to pull in a lot of the money because they're partnered with Disney, and they just have all the money to do those things. And then as well as just the level of play the first weekend actually has been substantial. Even today, they've been running since 3 p.m. our time. It's something that I kind of wanted to talk about eventually, one episode about the format of it, but. Basically, they're 8 hours a day for 4 days a week. It's kind of insane to run a broadcast at that kind of capacity. You know what I mean? It's an all-day event, and the broadcast quality has been insane. They've had, all three of their first 3 series of the games today have went to Game 5, which is the extra tiebreaker game, that's pretty awesome. I mean, you're getting your money's worth out of it, and that's definitely for me personally a bucket list item is to get out to Pasadena and catch your game live. That would be pretty cool for me.
That'd be sick. Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the slight news. It's not a lot going on right now with gaming because we're in that lull right before a bunch of things are coming out, and most things that we're going to be talking about are pressing things today. So the first bit of slight news is Rainbow Six Siege has a free-to-play weekend that's kind of ending now as we're talking about it. We kind of hope to do this podcast a little bit earlier, so some of this news is from earlier this week. But yeah, the free-to-play weekend is this weekend, but also up until the 22nd, which is Friday, it is 70% off on sale. And
go get it.
Yes.
Go get it now.
That's one of those things that I'm still slowly getting into and slowly playing. It's been a game that has been dramatically overhauled. I highly encourage you. There's a bunch of people in Gunhawk that actually play Rainbow Six, which is pretty cool.
It's a quality game, and for 70% off, like, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
It's basically under $20, I think, at that rate. So, yeah, the other bit of news is Activision Blizzard this week unfortunately laid off around 800 people from their staffing, which, after reporting record sales and growth, they laid off 8% of their company, which I find just...
I wonder how that conversation went. Hey, guys, you did great this year. So proud of you. You guys are, the best that we have. I'm so happy that we have you here, but we're going to have to let you guys go. Like, what?
That's actually almost identical to how they started the like phone call. Like, there's actually an audio posting of the guy saying how they had like record numbers and everything, and then like literally like later they said about the cuts and layoffs, and they made only like a 2-minute thing about it. It was okay. Blizzard, I like you, and it's not even just Blizzard, Activision. I thought I liked you a lot, right? But you guys are screwing up, and your reputation is definitely fleeting. And with all the people that are leaving your company lately, yikes, man! It's not the same Blizzard that I grew up playing World of Warcraft and all this, and the last bit of Overwatch. I could see this company definitely getting a negative turn on a lot of things. So it's really unfortunate, and I hope that all those people that were affected and their families that were affected, they find new sources of income, new jobs in the industry that they love and care and have put in a lot of time and effort into. So
yeah, definitely hope the best for those families. Just having a family myself and everything else, you just really hope that they can find some work very quickly. I mean, for the games that they were working on, they have like second to none best skills around. So hopefully they find something soon and they don't get in too hard times because of that.
And then speaking of Blizzard-related things in Overwatch, we were just talking about, as we were saying, Overwatch League is back. The new All Access Pass, which is $14.99 for anyone basically who doesn't know, is basically you get All Access Pass, you get behind-the-scenes content, you get some points to buy Overwatch League skins. Also, at some point, they're going to release some new emotes, which will be free because you have the pass. And then the pass itself is really cool because basically what it does is gives you points of view for every individual player that you would like to watch the game through. And I think that's groundbreaking because in Overwatch especially, I know a lot of people like to main certain characters. They want to watch certain points of view. So that's really cool. It's unfortunate that we're just talking about this with, Blizzard, Activision letting go a bunch of people, and a lot of people may not want to support things. But if you still would like to support Blizzard itself and, the developers of Overwatch, this is a great way to support them, and you get some things out of it. It's pretty cool. So check that out. And then the last bit of news that we're going to talk about is Anthem. EA Access right now has a deal going on that you can have a 10-hour trial for the game before the 21st, before it officially comes out, where you can play the game for 10 hours, and then if you'd like to buy it, you can buy the game at a discounted rate. I think EA Origin Access on the PC, you actually get the game for free with your pass because it's more expensive, and I think that's
Access Premier. Yeah, it's $15.99 for Access Premier on PC, and you get to play it now. And then the EA Access for Xbox is your $5.99, which that'll give you that 10 hours of
that's something that I've been utilizing, and like we're gonna talk about it right now because it's a perfect segue to talk about Anthem. So yeah, just make sure you guys check out those out if you have EA Access and you want to give Anthem a go and you don't want to dedicate a lot of money to it right away and just kind of try it out for yourself. That is a great way to do it. So yeah, the first topic we're just kind of speeding through some of this is Anthem. Right now, everybody, like I said, has access to it from the early access because it officially does not come out until Friday the 21st. or 22nd, one of the two.
22nd.
22nd. Thank you. And there's a lot of mixed reputation thoughts about this game right now. Why don't you get into kind of what you think first, and I'll go off of that.
Okay. So how I'm feeling about the game, my first impressions is I like the game. I really do. I'm having fun with it. What I'm seeing and what I think you're trying to get, or what you were getting into, is just there's a lot of people hating on it, but then there's also people liking it. But there's so many people hating on it, and yeah, there are bugs. There's loading screens could take up to 2 minutes just to get through a loading screen. Like I seen on Reddit, on the Anthem Reddit, it took somebody just to go swap weapons and come back into the free play area. It took them 7.5 minutes. That's ridiculous. It really is. I hope it's fixed. I really do. With it being AA, I don't know, BioWare, I'm hoping that they do fix this. But it's for this game. If you are into looter shooters, if you are into the Mass Effect games, which those are great, the story is okay. It's not like up to par like Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3. It's not like something crazy like that. You're gonna be like, oh no, it's a decent story. It's not bad. There's a few things in it that need to be fixed. Other than that, I'm really enjoying the game, and I think I'm gonna get into it. I don't have enough time to go into the end game, and that's what I'm not worried about, but that's what I'm concerned if there's going to be enough for that. Once I get into that point, I can see where I'm feeling. And then how we were just talking about the EA access and everything else. If you, like, instead of spending the money on it, try it out yourself. Like, don't sit there and go off of Twitter posts. Don't sit there and go off of Reddit posts. And it's like, oh, this game's bad. They said it. It's and I know it's a lot of money for people. $15 or $5 could be a lot of money for somebody that's younger or whatever else. But if you have your $5, try it out for 10 hours. See if you like it. If you don't, then you don't. If you do, hey, enjoy it. Don't worry about what other people think, because that's what I noticed a lot. And there was a streamer that actually posted something about that. And it's like, if you enjoy the game, enjoy
Goth,
it.
right?
Yeah, it was Gothalion. And I loved what he said. He said, if you enjoy the game, enjoy the game. Don't let other people try to sway you in certain ways. Yeah, take what they say, put into what you're doing. Say, yeah, okay, I agree with you. But if you do like the game, just play it. Have fun. Don't worry. That's what it all comes down to. Just have fun with the game. Don't criticize. Don't try to get negative about a game. Just try to enjoy a game.
Yeah, I think for me personally, like, a lot of what I'm seeing is I don't think people hate BioWare. I think the bigger issue here is the EA. Since it's an EA published game, people just default want to hate EA. And since it's a product of that new, quote, live service gaming, where you spend full price on a game and you're kind of wary of what actual content you're getting when you're buying your game. And all the things that you just said with the EA Access is perfect. I implore everybody to try that method. That's the method that I'm using, because if I'm being honest with you, my opinion of this game is it needs 6 more months. It just needs 6 more months of dedicated development time.
Yep.
It needs more time to get through, because a game. This is the one thing that I watched Siegel play this game the first day it was able to be out on EA Access, okay? Or Origin Access, whatever the PC version is, right? The first day that he loaded the game froze because of driver issues, and that's fine, okay? But the second thing is, the game on a dedicated release didn't have an FOV slider. Like, the little things like that just tell me they're rushing to get the product out. And you could see that with the issues like the loading screens. They haven't figured out a way to properly optimize the game to flow properly and keep you within the grain. Because nothing for me dissatisfies me more than waiting to do something that I know is going to take me forever to do. Like, if I have to, like, for instance, some of the missions that Siegel got into later in his stream, where he streamed 10 hours the first day, right? So that's basically the entirety of what would have been the past, right? 10 hours. Okay? One of the missions that he later got into where he needed to find 15 chests in free play for one of the quests.
Oh, yeah, that one mission, yeah.
Okay? And here's the thing about that. The game wants you to co-op and forces you in free play mode to actually play with other people, okay? So say you're going to find these chests. Somebody opens the chests in your group. You don't get credit for that chest. You have to find 15 individual chests on your own. I find that really tedious and just horrible gameplay mechanic, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. Which other than that mission, though, that's what, like, the beginning missions were, hey, go here, get this. Hey, go there, kill that person. But from what I was hearing from other people, one was MTashed and a few other streamers. It's like after that, you start getting into more like there's puzzles in the quests. There's like actually a little bit more depth. I don't know why they waited. As he said, like probably about 3-4 hours in, and then it got into more in depth. Other than that one mission, which he said or what I heard was there was with 4 people, you have 4 friends that are in the same group. That is 60 chests that you have to open to finish that mission for everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened with that. Why that? I mean, it was something that slipped through. One thing that I also did remember that, and I agree with you with the 6 months. I wish they would have waited. I don't know if that was a BioWare thing with they wanted to rush it out, or an EA thing, which I'm leaning more towards them wanting to grab the game out. And I'm assuming they probably didn't know how Apex was going to do. So it was like, hey, let's get both these out, and we'll try to see what happens. Definitely 6 months. There was one other thing. So when you jump into a mission with people, and your loading screen takes you a minute to get in, if those people get to the other side, which it's so weird that it's not like fully open world and you just go into a different area. Maybe there's a slight load and then you keep going. Kind of like how Destiny, if you hit a certain area, it has to load real quick, but it's like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like you go to a whole load screen. So if your group is too far ahead of you in that little area, it'll say transporting you or teleporting you to where your friends are or whatever. And then you go, so you'll come out of your loading screen, and then you'll have no time to get over to them, and then you go right back into a loading screen for another minute and a half. I kid you not, it happened to me once. And I was like, I'm going to private gameplay unless I have friends with me. I'm like, what is this? Like, what? Did this not happen at all? Because then I went to the Reddit, and there was like one person that posted, I'm like, did this not happen to anybody? Like, nobody had this problem till now? I'm like, this is terrible. Like, I didn't even get to do the mission. I got to the end of the whole mission. And I'm like, this is crazy. So, yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're okay. I was just saying, to piggyback off that point, the other thing that happened too while we were watching Siegel stream is, speaking of like how it does everything with free play, it just matchmakes you with people. He had a level 2 in one of the final story missions with him, and it ruined the story for him. Not that the story is anything amazing by any standards, but still, like, how does matchmaking like that happen? These are the things that, like, for me personally, that you could tell this game is just rushed. It's just they're trying to get it out as quick as they can. They're trying to make a buck, and I fully fault EA for that. That's the EA reputation that I'm known, right? Mm-hmm. And then you see games like Apex that we'll talk about in a little bit that just get released, no marketing, and they just take over because it's just a good product, right? They don't need any marketing. It'll market itself because it's a good game. So it just, for me, it's tough to want to support the Anthem game knowing the state that it's currently in, knowing that there's other games coming out in 3 weeks, like The Division 2, that I've seen the things from the beta, and that they just recently had a closed beta. They're going to have another beta, I think, in a week or two. That's an open beta. So. And that game seems like it's taken all the things that it messed up, and they've been fixing over the last year, and they're not doing a Destiny where they're rewiping it. They're going, we're just going to build on this. And I think that's really important for me because, I mean, I kind of said this earlier this week on Twitter that, like, I don't remember the last time. If you would have told me in February that I'd probably be more excited for the Division 2 than Anthem, I probably would have punched you in the face.
Oh, yeah.
I would have hit you with something.
Same thing. It's crazy. Like, and I'm giving with Anthem 2. It's a new IP. BioWare's trying to come back from the Andromeda thing, so that's on their back. But I feel like before even the game came out, they were listening to the fans and listening to everybody else about things that need to be fixed. And I feel like as long as EA doesn't intervene, I feel like BioWare will be true to that throughout the lifetime of the game. I feel like they will definitely work on the things that people are complaining about. I really do. I feel like BioWare is. I mean, look at the Mass Effect game. They literally changed the ending of the game because people hated the ending. Like, they listen. They'll sit there and be like, "Hey, all right, we messed up."
The problem with this though is that was 2 years ago, when maybe consumers weren't as aggressive about not playing a game, and because of reputation. Now the reputations have preceded too many companies Like the next Bethesda game, if it has even the slightest bit, if the next Elder Scrolls comes out and it has even the slightest bit of problems, that's going to be a dumpster fire. I can already feel it. Okay,
Oh, it will.
And then
It will.
you have this problem, and like it's the whole live service thing again, where we're spending full price on something that just it's not ready to be full price product yet. And granted, they said that all DLC is going to be free with the game. Anything they put out after release is free. It's just part of the service in the game. Yada yada. Cool, great.
Yeah.
But me and my consumer side of myself nowadays is like, do I want to spend $60-$40-ish on something that I know is not going to be ready for 3 or 4 more months, and eventually it might play amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I just going to go play something else that I think is at least a little bit more ready for release?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of line I'm flirting with right now, because it's not that I don't enjoy playing Anthem, because it's beautiful. Okay, the graphics are intensely beautiful. The one thing from the beta I hope that they would change was the gunplay. Felt really stale, but they haven't done anything to that. But the flying feels a little bit better. It feels a little more optimized. It feels a little smoother. Like the gameplay itself is the typical looter shooter. It reminds me a lot of Diablo. Go here, kill this, get this thing. Maybe get your upgrade, okay? And that's great for most of us. But I think a lot of us are on that, fence of like, do I want to spend money and wait for them to figure this out? Or am I going to go play something else?
Yeah.
That's the kind of line I'm flirting with.
Well, that's why I think the best thing they did was that EA access or the Origin access. Because I feel like if they didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have bought it yet, and I would have waited to see what everybody said. But because I'm paying $15 for the game right now, I can play it as much as I want, and for that first month. And if I'm not liking it, well, hey, cancel, and I spent $15 instead of 60 or 70, and I'm okay with that. Like for me, that works out. I know other people probably wouldn't, but it's definitely good for them to go that route. Like I wish like other games would have went that route. Like if you had like the Destinies and whatever else, like the freaking Elder or the Fallout 76, like something like that. Like that would have probably made people not as mad at you, but nope, they paid full price for a game that shouldn't have been full price.
And that's the one thing I've been really thinking about the last week is like, we gotta give Destiny some credit. Like honestly, it's not as bad as we thought. Okay,
No,
yeah,
it
Destiny
isn't.
2, Destiny 2 when it came out, I think we were a little shocked about lack of content. Okay, we were kind of like, did they really do this?
Yeah.
And like, okay, it kind of shocked a lot of us, that I think, because we expected something different. It was like the first time we rolled into the first Destiny. We expected it to be open world and all these things that were touting, and you're just like, okay, I guess it's not that. But it still was fundamentally fun. It still had good flow. There wasn't that many loading screens. The game felt seamless. And then they finally adapted and they worked on the story. Bungie did a good job of trying to correct itself. And I feel like that's why it's kind of disappointing seeing what's happening with Anthem, because I expected better. That's personally just me. I expected better. I expected them not to have these issues. But, Intuition Steve was like, nah, they're going to screw this up and it's going to be a disaster. I've been thinking about it all week, man, because like I was so excited for this game. And part of me still, I can get in this game and I can see it for what it is. It's a time grinding game. It's something to play. And part of me too is so disappointed because I'm at that point. I think I need something new to play. Overwatch is only enough. I need something with a different kind of caliber, just I can get into. Diablo's like 9 years old at this point. It's like it's like literally 90 in gaming years. Like I just want something new and fresh to play. But for now, I think we're gonna be waiting a few more weeks for Division 2, and that's okay. I think this is the one time that hype actually got me, and I'm kind of disappointed. But I'm not going to invest a lot of time or money into something like this when I don't think it's ready for it yet. Maybe eventually it'll come down in price, and then maybe in a few months we'll be looking at it like, now's a good time to get into this. But I think that's the problem with games like this, is like they hype it up, and if you're not day one and doing all the end game content within the first 2 weeks of the game, and then the player base just leaves and it dies, and it doesn't have much to stand on when people try to get into the game 4 or 6 months later down the road.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I'm enjoying it to the point I'll probably play it and I'll keep playing it. But it'll all come down to that end game. Like, what's going to happen at the end? Am I going to have enough content? Like right now, I do, because of course I'm going through it all. And for me, playing Diablo so much, I'm so used to like literally run here and get here.
Yep.
So it's just a looter shooter and it's a grinder, and that's the kind of games I like. So I enjoy the game a lot. and I'm trying to, then I'm naive with it. I feel like, but I'm trying to look past like the loading screen. I'm trying to look past that type of stuff and just go, hey, I'm gonna play it, and then just I have in the back of my head, you know what? I only played $5 for it. I only played $15. So I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy it for what it is for right now. Will I keep it maybe a second month for $30? We'll see. We'll see where we're at the end of February. If not, then I'll stop it, and then Division 2 comes out, and then maybe once it gets better, or maybe once they figure it out, maybe I'll jump back into Anthem. But right now, I'm enjoying it. I can see it as a game that I'm going to play for a little bit, especially since I was told by my wife that I can't buy any more games for the rest of this time. So I'm going to be playing that and Division, because that's the two that I have bought. And so I pretty much have to like it. No, I am. I'm enjoying it. It's a decent game. It's a good game. It's just there's just things they just need to work out, need to figure it out, and hopefully they do it quicker than later. They don't wait till like a year after the game's been out to finally be like, hey, our game is finished.
See, that's the one thing too that I think the Division 2 just I'm a little bit more sure of, because it's like Ubisoft has a better track record of like, yeah, they've had some horrible releases, but every game that they've had a really bad release on has astronomically turned around and been a really good product. So you're kind of like, they'll fix something if there's something wrong, but like BioWare's venturing into something that they've never done before, and then you have EA on your back, which we didn't even get into the pricing model of the skins, but that's just neither here nor there. I mean, you got to make money, and I understand it, but you just have to think of like things like that as a consumer scare me away from games like that. That I truly feel that I'm going to be spending the bulk of my time in Division 2 over the next few months, and you know what? I think that's okay. I'm okay with that personally.
Yeah, I'm okay with. Honestly, I played the demo for a little, or the beta, whatever you want to call it, for Division 2. You can tell it's like, I feel like out of all the games that have done that, well, no, Siege 2, Rainbow Six Siege 2, which of course is Ubisoft. It's probably my first game where I was like, wow, they really freaking turned this game around. Like they said what they were gonna do. It took a little bit, but I feel like they're on the right track. The game is amazing. And Division 2, I played for that little bit. I was always worried about the scarcity of the cities. They added like patrols of good computer, whatever it is, CPUs, and like the enemies, and they're all patrolling around the whole entire area. You have other people talking. Like there's actually people in the area. Of course, it's not actual players, but there's like a little bit more to the city. It's not this like dead city. So it looks like they just tweaked a little things, make things a little bit better. Like their RPG. Yeah, that's it. Whew, I'm words today. Words.
It's all good.
So the system they have there, the skills and everything else, there's so much more compared to Division 1. Like Division 1, it was like a couple skills you can get. Now it's like you have just a plethora of skills to go into. The guns looked amazing, and of course, I felt like in the Division, the guns felt amazing to me. I loved how the guns felt in that game and how they sounded. So I'm excited. I'm definitely, me and you are going to be playing that.
I have a feeling that's just going to be the go-to. And like I said, 6 months ago, if you would have asked me that, I would have been like, yeah, okay. Division 2, I'm not even going to look at that game. Now I'm just kind of like, Division 2, what's up, girl? How you doing?
Hey, I see you.
All right. Let's move on to the other topics that we have at hand. The fresh Apex Legends, which caught everybody by surprise. But being a Titanfall fan, I'm not surprised that Respawn Entertainment being able to put out a BR and it being of AAA caliber, and the fact that it's free, I think won a lot of people over. And I think it's starting to die down a little bit now. We've rode that first few weeks of just
that honeymoon phase is kind of starting to
now you can start
out.
Yeah, you're starting to see some people complain about some things, and some things need to be tweaked. They just had their first patch. So personally, I'm not the biggest BR guy, and I think that's one of the hardest things for me with games like this, is just the BR genre has never been something that I'm like clamoring to play. It's something that, Meg and I recently played it when it came out, and she was kind of having a hard time with it with different button layouts, and just the BR game is one of those games that if you're not getting a lot of kills, it's very boring. I'm just being honest with you.
It is.
Because you die. It's almost like playing Anthem. You die, there's a reloading screen, you wait for the reloading screen, then you go back into the game, and then you die. Like it's repetitive. But I understand why everybody's still caught up in the craze, and that it's free. It's a game that they could charge $40+ for, and I would be like, okay, I get it, because it's very polished, and the way they just dropped it on us was incredible. And I really appreciate the fact that this game, although it does have loot boxes, and I hate the loot box thing, I really do, but I appreciate what this game caters to. It caters to the people that probably liked Blackout, don't like Fortnite for all the cartoony characteristics, and this is the kind of military sim shooter that's not PUBG, that's free, that people can just play. And I like a lot of the game mechanics, like the ping system, I think is incredible. The reviving honestly, the teammates. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's all I was going to say. I was going to agree with you on that ping system. Amazing.
Yeah, the ping system is something that I love, because you can ping a piece of equipment, a piece of armor, an enemy even, which I know other games have had things like that. In Battlefield, there's a spot function and things like that. But to be able to play this game without a microphone, and a lot of the times, because it's a dedicated squads of 3, so if you only have 2, you're going to get a filler. So having that extra bound of communication, I think, is incredible, especially on console that I play on mainly, because most people don't use their mics, so they just don't feel like communicating. That's not really a thing. Just speaking from experience playing Overwatch, even, it's just not really a thing. I wish that ping was in Overwatch. That'd be incredible.
Oh, geez, I would change the whole game. You'd have people that didn't even use their mic sit there and actually like rank probably higher, because all they use is ping and they use it effectively. So for me, how I feel is I feel like it's a free game. So you got that like Fortnite. You have a lot of people that kids say that can't buy the game, can't use money or anything else. But I also feel like the amount of, I don't know how much it is. You can go against me on this one. I feel like because how many of top streamers on Twitch actually streamed that game and played that game day one, that it threw it's a good game. I'm not saying it's not a good game and they're playing a crap game and brought people in. I feel like if they didn't get as many people as they did at the get-go play that game, like when you have Ninja, Tim the Tap Man, Dr. Dis, like you have all these top names playing this game, you know damn well that made the sales skyrocket. A good portion of it. It wasn't just because the game came out. They did their marketing very well with that.
That was their marketing.
Yeah, and that they had, I seen like they didn't sponsor the whole streams, but they would sponsor like, I think it was like 4 hours on these big streamer streams, to the point they would play it beforehand, and then they would have a sponsored stream, and then they'd play it afterhand. They would keep playing it, which in granted, like I said, it's a good game, very well polished. There's a few things like with disconnects, some
NVIDIA driver issues for a lot of people, I've heard, is
on the
PC.
Okay.
Yep.
So like that with that, and then wasn't there there was like a memory overflow or something like that too? I seen. There's that, and on console I noticed like stuff popping in. Like if you drop, it's kind of like the back in PUBG, you'd sit there and you'd have to wait for everything to pop in to get it. I had that happen a few times to me when I played. Other than that, solid game. People are complaining about the Peacekeeper shotgun, but I feel like every game somebody complains about the shotgun. But like I said, a solid game. I dug it. I honestly got in and was doing fairly well with it, because I used to play Titanfall and Titanfall 2 a lot, and I really, really love those games, and I love what Respawn did, and I think this one's definitely going to be an amazing one. This, and I'm not even really into BRs. I'm really not. I can play them. I can tolerate them for a little bit. It's kind of like Overwatch with me. I can play hour or two maybe, and then I kind of just get either frustrated or whatever else, and I end up stopping to play. But I mean, it's a solid game and it's free, and I really feel like EA kind of like screwed over like their own game with bringing Anthem out, because everybody's like, Anthem, dude, we got Apex from you guys. We don't want to play this game. We got to pay how much for it, dude? This is free, and it's good. It's by Respawn, and you can't be like Respawn, dude. They're solid. Respawn is solid. I really wish they would have somehow did better marketing with Titanfall 1 and 2, because I feel like those games would have just done so much better when it comes to that in sales.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you with that, because it's just so interesting that, like, you just said it, like, off the top of that, like, you know, what can we do to screw over one of our own game releases? Let's release a free-to-play game that should be $60, but it's made by a AAA company, and it just systematically plays better, and it's in the craze of the current gaming industry. Literally the same week that you're supposed to release your game.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's such an EA thing. They don't think about it, and then what's crazy too is, like, I've been reading the stats about it. Like, 25 million people played that game within 48 hours. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's unreal.
That just goes to show you too that game literally released on a Monday. They literally just, there was speculation that dropped on the Friday beforehand, which that's really unironic for me that all of a sudden a few days before you have some people kind of talking about it, and then Monday it flat out just releases for free after they're done doing their little, presentation live stream, and then within 2 days it has 25 million people playing it.
So that was smart too. I think that was also another thing, because you have Anthem came out with their demo. Nobody could get into it. Guess what? There goes half your population of people that are going to buy it. Comes out with the other demo. Doesn't do too well either. There goes more people. You're showing, unless you're going to show a game beforehand, people show these games and they have demos and early access. Unless your game is polished off these early access, I don't understand why you would do that. What they did with that, nobody knew anything about the game, so nobody could sit there and complain about it, and people are gonna be like, and well, it being free also, but nobody can complain about it, and they go, all right, let's play it. I don't know what this game is. Somebody else is playing it. I'm gonna play this now too. They didn't have such and such had a YouTube video and they said the game's a piece of crap, and I just don't even want to try it. So I think what they did, I kind of hope that other game companies end up doing that. Just kind of go, hey, here's your game, and you're like, what? Okay, let me check this out.
Yeah, and I remember reading about this because there's a bunch of news coverage about this, and the developers talking about that. Respawn basically was saying, people know that EA has a reputation. We're going to be making a BR game. People want this next thing, which would be Titanfall 3, and we're making something different. So instead of having 6 months of people worrying and questioning what we're going to be doing, and then only seeing small snippets of gameplay, we just, here you go, here's the game, play it, have fun. And it's just that's so incredibly ingenious. And the fact that it was an EA published game pisses me off, because it's just you kind of want, in all essence, I'm just going to be frank, right? I kind of want to see EA fall through a little bit and have repercussions of these things, but then they release something like this and you're just damn it, man. They did something incredibly amazing within a week. This is incredible to me. Within a week, they put out a demo of a game that has so many technical issues. That's probably one of the most hyped games that's probably going to be, that we considered coming out in the last year.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the most hyped releases of the year.
Killer.
Right? Destiny Killer. It's going to be the new looter shooter for the next 2 generations. And then they release a free-to-play BR game that literally wipes the floor with it. And out revenue is probably what Anthem will even make lifetime.
It actually overcame Fortnite recently, I think. Last year or two. It's
even on Twitch. On Twitch.
Yeah. So it's definitely what I'm excited for is all this revenue from it, hopefully, is going to go towards Titanfall 3, and it's just going to be freaking amazing. I'm hyped about Titanfall 3, and they don't even have to announce it yet, because they're going to make so much revenue, cash revenue from this. They're going to have so much dispensable money to be let's just get celebrities for every single voice acting in this game, and let's get you know what, we're going to have it 3D. You can shoot stuff with a 3D gun in your hands. I don't know. I know it's going to be good. And it's because it's Respawn also, and as long as EA just keeps your grimy hands off it, it's gonna be so good when it does come out.
I was gonna say, Respawn is kind of I know Titanfall 2 had its missteps, and some people didn't necessarily like it, but that was the first time it was actually on every playable platform. Mm-hmm. And I know Titanfall very much has a cult following. Titanfall was one of the first games that I got an Xbox for. Literally, I got an Xbox One because of Titanfall 1. So Titanfall is that soft spot in my heart. I want to see that do really, really well. And you could tell that they take the time, they polish the game. It plays really, really well. And I'm really excited to see, like you just said, all these things that are happening are going to be good for the next iteration of whatever they're going to push, because they're going to put all these resources in the polish that they're getting now into the next iteration of whatever they're creating. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, those are the 2 main topics, and I think we got a little bit of time. We can get into our third topic real quick. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. Go to that other topic.
Yes, the other topic, which basically is, recently, I've been on that soul search about just games in general and thinking about all the wonderful things that games have brought into my life and all the good times that games have brought me, and just kind of nostalgia trip. And, I just kind of wanted to take time to talk about all the games that we grew up playing that kind of define why we like games that we like now and why that's important. And I think those games are important to gaming now in general. And I guess I'll just kind of wheel it and go first with some of my most important games growing up, and we can run down the nostalgia. I know for you and I are going to agree on some of these really easily. I think one of the very first multiplayer game that actually captivated me, because I didn't really have an N64. I had family members that had N64, so I did play GoldenEye. It was fun. That's the thing. But Halo. Yes. Halo 2. Master Chief. Online. I mean, that game, I could play that game for hours. I can go back now and play that on Master Chief Collection on the Xbox Game Pass and load in, and I still feel the same way about that game. That just game forever will speak to me. It cultivated the trash talking, the competitiveness, you name it about that. That was my first real competitive experience with gaming. And that's where MLG was coming out, and Xbox Live was this new thing that people could play with anybody around the world, and you had a microphone with like one ear cup with like the one thing like you can only hear it in one ear, and then your TV was on. And Halo, man, that's the game for me that really got me. I've always been a gamer, don't get me wrong, like NHL 94, growing up and playing Sega, and like you were saying, like Crash and Spyro.
Man. Yep, Sony Crash Bandicoot. That was when I finally was like, I'm in this. This is me. And of course, before that, I played games. But yeah, Crash on PS1 Christmas Day. That was it.
And
I'm gonna be a gamer.
Those classic games, just like for me, it's hard now because like I want to be really. I'm obviously really we're both obviously very passionate about games. We do a podcast specifically about gaming.
I would say yes, definitely.
I would say we're in that spectrum of things, and for me, I can't think of another game that defined any point in my life more than Halo did. It just put me in the direction of, I want to do this. This is something I love to do. It's competitive. It's fun. And then the other one I would say, it's probably going to throw some people for a loop, is Black Ops 2. Because that's when MLG was a thing, and that's when Meg and I were dating. We first started dating. We knew the relationship. Meg did not have an Xbox until that point. Meg had never played a Call of Duty game until basically that point. So that was how we bonded. We got Xboxes. We got That's how I met some of my greatest friends in life, is Black Ops 2. So that's another game that I hold dear to my heart. That I have a lot of memories on that game. Just a lot of people I met through that time period, and that kind of really sparked my love for current day esports, because COD esports at the time, that was kind of it. It was COD esports and Halo esports, and those were the main driving factors. And that's when YouTube was really big, and that game sparked all of my YouTube content. So,
oh man, so, yeah, mine. So you're saying Halo 2? What got me was Halo 1 multiplayer.
Okay,
you're gonna be like, Josh, how? What?
No, I understand.
How'd you do that?
I do.
I had a it was way back when all I had was my PlayStation. Didn't have an Xbox. I had my PlayStation. I was good. It was PlayStation 2. I played SOCOM online, SOCOM 1, and SOCOM 2. I can't remember which one, but I was like, this is terrible. I hate this. I'm like, this is terrible. Whatever it is. I had a buddy say, hey, come over. Let's play some Halo. And I was like, all right. It's just me and you. And he goes, no, we'll play it online. I'm like, what? You can't do that. I get over there. He had somehow, I don't even know how still to this day. So he had it somehow connected to his computer, going through a website where you could get into a lobby to be able to play online Halo 1. And after that, I was like, that was my competitive gaming. And I was just, this is amazing. I'm like, you can play these games online with other people. It just totally changed everything for me. And then the game after that, and it's going to be a weird one, was it Unreal Tournament or was it Quake? I think it was
both of those games, though.
I know. Unreal Tournament for the Xbox. Regular Xbox. I sat over, of course, I still didn't have one. This was my cousin's Xbox, and I went over to his house. We played that for like 2 days straight, to the point that I was talking with people, and we played a game. This is how it impacted me so much. Is I remember this day, they're like, hey, we're going to have a game free for all. Whoever gets this is going to be the captain or leader of the mashed potato clan. I'm like, what's the mashed potato clan? And of course, back then you had to get on your dial up and try to figure out like the internet site. I'm like, oh, okay, here, oh, cool, mashed potato clan. And I played, and I freaking destroyed everyone, and I was the leader of the mashed potato clan. So if the mashed potato clan, if you're listening to this, I'm still here, brother. Got you guys. But yeah, that was another time. That's when I was like, man, this is awesome. I'm in some clan. This is freaking great. I love multiplayer and competitive. and it's just amazing. And then, like you said, with all the Halos, dude, Halo is definitely what I played the most when it came to being competitive and playing competitive multiplayer games. One, two, and then three was the one to the point I was playing that all the time religiously. I would try to do competitive with it. I loved it so much. Like Halo was definitely like the main thing that got me into all that.
I was gonna say, I think too, like getting away from the competitive and FPS aspect, the one game that I always brought back to myself was Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, like I remember getting a PS2. My brother actually was the one who got Grand Theft Auto 3. I actually asked for, I think, NHL that year. Go figure. But yeah, I was a big sports gamer kid, and then like he got Grand Theft Auto, and that was at the time where that was revolutionary. Like a 3D environment, you could do whatever you wanted, you could drive wherever you wanted. It had radio stations, you could change the radio stations, you could get into different cars, you could do paint jobs on different cars. It had professional, voice acting and a whole world and environment. The weather changed. Up until that point, you'd never really had seen something like that before.
No.
And that hooked me so intensely. I think that's still the most game time I've ever had played in a game outside of Halo is any Grand Theft Auto game that's ever been released. I have well over 1,000 hours probably in every single one of those games. It's kind of redundant, but that game sparked so much things in me that I remember I'd come home from school and get into the car that I liked, that I had saved in the garage, parked backwards, the perfect paint job, and you know what I mean? Like,
I remember that. Oh my gosh, man, because I had that. What's crazy is I played Grand Theft Auto like 1 and 2. Like I played those ones like a lot, and it was that top-down look. I had no idea what I was doing, and I was just going around, and it was like you'd kill people, it'd be this little red dash on the ground, like it's the weirdest thing ever. And then just going from that, and then hitting Grand Theft Auto 3, I remember just starting it up. And that first sequence on the bridge, you're just like, oh my god.
Yes.
What is this real life? Like, you're like, this is unreal. Unreal. That's when graphics, like, you were just amazed.
Yeah.
That was unreal.
The crazy thing, too, is, like, I remember the missions in that game. Like, the one mission where, there's that sheet where you can go grab the pill that slows everything down, and you have to snipe all the people in the boat. And that's, like, in the first, 2 hours of gameplay. And you're just like, how's it going to get any better than this? And then the final mission in that game, which, spoilers, I mean, the game came out in, 2005, so it is what it is. But, you blow up a whole dam. Like, it's incredible. And then not to mention all the side quests in that game where you can do, they have, what is it, the Gone in 60 Seconds style thing where you go into a garage and it has all the cars on the wall, and you have to go get all the cars, and if you get all the cars, you just walk back in the garage, and then you can drive any car from the list, and... man, Grand Theft Auto games.
That was it. Now we have high expectations because of video games. Thanks GTA 3. Now we want all our games to be good from now on. It's your fault.
Imagine.
So I was gonna add too. So we're talking about that in our single player RPGs. The one that got me the looter shooter, I'd say, which you were talking about most hours. I can say probably, and this is actually a later game, but most hours I ever put in a game was Borderlands and Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Those two, thousands of hours into that game, and I played it over and over again. I played every difficulty, anything. That game, and that was I'm trying to think back to any other game that I had looter shooters and played. I think that was it. That was my kind of first hardcore looter shooter game, and that's what kind of sunk me in where I knew I'm looter shooters are my genre. I love looter shooter games or loot grinding games, and that was it. I could thousands of hours.
I think that's the thing for me too, is when you find a game where you deliberately are setting yourself tasks inside the game to make the game physically harder for you, you're hooked.
Oh, yeah.
That's for me with Fallout. I'm only gonna play this class, and I'm only gonna pick up these items, and I'm never gonna pick up this. Yeah.
Skyrim was I would only wear the chef hat.
Yeah,
and that was
there you go.
The chef hat. Chef, what was his name? Chef Boyardee. I remember I had it on stream way back when I started streaming. I started streaming with Skyrim, and it was Chef Boyardee was my character, and all I wore was a chef hat trying to go through it, and that was after playing for hours and hours and hours.
See, that's the one thing that, as much as we want to rag on games and like we're very critical of things, especially I'm very critical of things because it's like it invests money and time and effort, and we're content producers for these things, that it's always good to reflect on all the things that we've had fun doing and playing and why we originally do it in the first place, because I never want this to feel too much like a job. I want to have fun, and that's why I don't stress out about things with gaming as much anymore, and I'm trying to just have more fun, and the last 6 months has been like a soul searching event for me where just trying to find things that are fun. Like the Switch has been great. I've been playing all these single player RPGs. The new Zelda remake I'm super excited for. And then instantly people are already shitting on that game and the graphics, and just like, just play games for fun, please.
Yep.
Please just have fun and play games.
Going back to it, and like you just said too, just have fun. Just enjoy the game. Yeah, there might be something wrong with it. There might be this. Enjoy it for what it is. Have a good time with it. Unless it's $60 or $80, and then okay, you can
then
but
if it has mass amounts of microtransactions, then.
But that's what it's all about. That's all what video games are about, and they should be about. Is you just having fun and enjoying the time that you're playing them. Like, don't let little things just piss you off to the point you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not playing this game anymore. Like, have fun with games. That's what they're there for. And that's what they always were there for, even when you were a kid and you were playing. I was playing Intellivision and Atari and Nintendo. It was side-scrolling something else, and guess what? I had the best time ever.
Yeah, and then you had to turn your VCR and your TV to channel 3, and then you had to turn your VCR to like audio 2 output. Like, kids don't understand the struggle. They will never know.
Then you lose. Then you lose for your television. You lose the little plastic thing that you put in there to see what the actual controls are for the game that you're playing, and then you're just trying to just go with it and just try to figure it out while you're playing it. That's when you knew you were real right there. you lost it. You're like, oh god, this isn't what I need to press.
You're a real one when you had to leave your PlayStation on all night because you didn't have a memory card.
Rip my PlayStation.
And with that, we're gonna end the episode because our viewer base is probably scratching their heads at us like, what are you talking about? No, but but yeah, that's it for most of the episode. I don't really have anything else to add. I think we covered a lot of stuff. The next few weeks, the outlines of most of the episodes are probably going to be heavily Division centered, I would assume, because that's probably the next game we're going to be heavily into, and we'll sprinkle in some more esports oriented content because it's been kind of dry. But like I said, Overwatch League is getting going again. League of Legends started their split, so we'll have some more content regarding those issues soon. If you like our podcast, please follow us on Twitter at Fraggin Outcast, because for some reason we're professionals and we never shout out the Twitter of our actual show. You can follow me on Twitter at FranchiseGFX. Josh, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at @positiveentropy_. That's positive entropy, one word, 1E. Also, if you are just listening to this, I am live streaming the podcast, so you will get it early if you come over. Follow my channel on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/positiveentropy. Again, one word, 1E. I always tweet out the podcast, and then I always toss it up on our Discord, which Steve can tell you about here.
All right, yeah. Make sure you guys are following the Gunhawk Gaming on Twitter at Gunhawk Gaming. You can go to the Gunhawk website, gunhawk.com. The Discord server is linked in both of those areas. You can come in, hang out with us at Gunhawk. It's a cool gaming community. A lot of free assets for graphics and just a lot of good people to hang out and play games with. It's one of the best communities I've ever personally been a part of, so please come check them out. And then also make sure you follow our sister hosting podcast. They're not sister, they're kind of the mothership. Sports Radio Detroit, sportsradiodetroit.com. You can follow them at Twitter at sportsradiodet. And like I said, we're going to have more information about the Fanatics deal going on with that. I'm sure there's going to be a discount code. Fanatics is actually a site that I use for all of my apparel purchasing, and they do an amazing job with shipping, constantly 60 to 70% off of a lot of things, weekly, monthly. So it's definitely a good resource to check out. But yeah, that's it for our podcast today. I hope you guys enjoy your week, and hopefully we will see you in a timely 2 weeks this time. So thank you so much, and peace out.
All right, see you guys.
This has been an SRD production.